And we're following rising tensions in the Middle East this morning. The Israeli army is searching the West Bank, where 2 Israeli women were reportedly killed in a shooting attack. This follows Israeli airstrikes at Palestinian targets in Gaza and Lebanon, a response to dozens of rockets fired from those areas yesterday. And Iris Mackler is in Jerusalem's Old City for us this morning. Iris, this is an important day in Jerusalem for Jews, Muslims, and Christians. But we've heard reports of more violence in the West Bank this morning. What can you tell us?
Yes, I can tell you that there was a drive-by shooting in the West Bank. 2 young women's sisters were killed. Their mother is critically injured. Their father, her husband, who was in a car in front of them, watched the whole thing. And now there's a manhunt underway in the West Bank as Israeli police search for the perpetrators. Hamas and Islamic Jihad, 2 Palestinian militant groups, have welcomed the shooting. They call it a blessed operation on this 3rd Friday of Ramadan. Speaking of the 3rd Friday of Ramadan, that the Friday prayers, the noonday prayers, have just ended. Many people were streaming down past here. The attendance was smaller than before, 60 to 70,000 people. That's about half of what we saw on the previous Fridays. Perhaps all this situation has affected that, but it was pretty peaceful, and no injuries and no police clashes have been reported. And it is, of course, still noisy, and also it is, of course, still Good Friday. And there are thousands of Christian pilgrims here, and the processions are still going on despite all the tensions.
And Iris, this comes after strikes and rocket fire were exchanged between not only Israel and Gaza, but also into Lebanon. What can you tell us about that?
I can tell you that situation remains very tense, even though we have not had a response in return from Lebanon. Israel's policy was to differentiate between Hamas, who it blames for this escalation, and Hezbollah in Lebanon. And so it didn't attack Hezbollah sites or Lebanese national sites. And it hasn't had a military response from Hezbollah. Nevertheless, Israel has augmented its troops north and south on both borders. It's also calling up reservists, including pilots. And until about 2 or 3 hours ago, Israelis in the south of the country bordering Lebanon were in their bomb shelters. They have been told they can leave them now. So it's a very tense Friday here.
Thank you for your reporting, Iris Mackler in Jerusalem.